Good morning. Welcome to Hiking with Kathleen. This morning, we've been watching a raccoon foraging for food among the rocks in the shallows of the Thames River. And it makes for really interesting observations when you see how they actually go methodically from one area to another, leaving nothing uncovered while they're searching for animals that live in and amongst the rocks. Hope you stay with me as we explore this further and find out more about raccoon behavior. Raccoons are really interesting animals to watch. They amble along in their favorite habitat, which would be a riverbed. As you can see, its face is just above the surface of the water as it reaches down with those dexterous front paws of theirs that are almost human or monkey-like as they turn over rocks looking for all kinds of animal matter and plant matter to eat because, in fact, raccoons are omnivores. By looking at this raccoon skull, you can see that they are well equipped to catch and kill prey using their canine teeth, which are otherwise called fangs. Raccoons are typically nocturnal animals, so it was really quite a treat to be able to see this one active during the day. When you see the eyes looking straight at you, you can see they've got a black mask over them. This helps them to blend in so that their eyes aren't obvious to prey, or to predators for that matter. Here's a skull showing clearly how big the eye sockets are. They help them to see at night. So it was really neat to be able to watch that raccoon just take care of business as though it didn't notice I was there. And it did see me, but it didn't feel threatened. I was across the river from it. It was in an area where there were rapids, so it didn't hear me if I was rustling around with my camera equipment. But on the main trail, which I'm now back on, there were some people that were walking along talking to one another. As soon as it heard that, it took off. Now I continued along this trail in the same direction as those people. And after they passed through, the raccoon came back out to forage some more. So you can really tell that some of these animals around here, they're not acclimatized to people, the presence of people. If we seem to present a low risk of threat, like we walk quietly, we don't seem to approach, they carry on. But when they hear human voices, they often will take off and seek shelter. Those large turtles, those last three that I showed, are the eastern spiny softshell turtles. And that seems to be their favorite basking spot since I found them here before. They're raising their body temperature because their heat typically comes from the external environment, so they're taking in the sun's warm rays in order to warm up their bodies. I just finished recording a branch moving through the water. And once you start following things like that that don't seem to make sense, there's not a current really strong enough to move a branch, I had a closer look, and of course I have seen this animal in this area before. And it was a muskrat. It was bringing home some food for the day, and so we watched it as it was traveling along with that branch of green leaves, entering its riverbank den. So it's very easy to be able to track wildlife once you kind of know what patterns to look for. Just a short while ago, I was videoing with my other camera a fawn. Other than the one that I saw that was just an hour old that I had shown in a previous video, I haven't seen any, but I saw a doe and I videoed her, and it wasn't long after I continued on my travels that I saw a fawn. And it was just a break in the pattern, recognizing deer ears, that I started videoing the fawn. Now, it didn't stay put for very long, because then I was hoping to get out this camera here that does a better job of zooming, and it didn't stick around for that. So anyway, lots of really cool things out here this morning. I'm holding this up towards the trees in the hopes that the microphone picks up the sound. It sort of sounds like raindrops. So now that you've had a chance to perhaps hear that, it's not raindrops at all. It is drops. It's droppings from caterpillars in the trees above that are eating the leaves. And we can hear their excrement hitting the leaves, and it sounds like raindrops. Well, folks, that's a wrap for this week on Hiking with Kathleen. Thanks so much for joining me. If you like this video, please click like. If you would like to see more content like this, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you along for my weekly outings to the woods, to the beach, to the camping experience. However it is that we take you along, we want to make sure that you don't miss an episode. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.